All right, we are on arithmetic sequences part 2. This is example 5, modeling real life. Online bidding for a geothermal heat pump increases by $25 for each bid after the $420 initial bid. Write a function that represents the arithmetic sequence, then graph the function. The winning bid is $1,520. How many bids were there? All right, so we've been looking at arithmetic sequences, so we can start by thinking about what the formula is. If you think about what the formula is, then it'll help you know kind of what you need. So we're going to say f of n equals our first term, a sub 1 represents our first term, plus n minus 1 times our common difference. All right, so it says it increases by $25 for each bid. So if it increases by $25 for each bid, that means our common difference is going to be $25. All right, and it also says that $420 is the initial bid. So we know that our first bid, our initial bid, is $420. So let's go ahead and take that information and use that to write our function. So f of n equals our first term, 420, plus n minus 1 times 25. Then we can use the distributive property to multiply the 25. So it'd be plus 25n. And then negative 1 times 25 is minus 25. And again, we kind of want to rewrite this in slope-intercept form. So 25n. 420 plus negative 25 is plus 395. So we can say that this is our function. All right, so A part says write a function that represents the arithmetic sequence. So we just did that. And then it says graph the function. All right, so let me erase part of this so that we have room here to graph the function. All right, so to graph the function, the first thing we need to do is create a table of values. So we know the first bid is $420. That's our initial bid. Bid 2 would be increased by $25. So 420 plus $25 is $445. And the third bid would be increased by $25 more. So $445 plus 25 is $470. And then our fourth bid would be another $25 added, so $495. And you could continue that on and on if you wanted to. So we eventually want to find out what the winning bid is, 1,520. But let's go ahead and graph this first and see what that gives us. All right, I am going to go ahead and get the graph from the textbook, which will help us save a little bit of time. So give me just a second. All right, so again, if you go to your online textbook, you have this as well, but this is our first bid and how much it cost. So you can see the number of bids. That's like your x-axis. This is n. Since we're doing sequences, we use n and a sub n. In this case, we used f of n. But then we have our number of bids across the bottom, and we have our total amount up the side. Since the first bid started at 420, you can see they have this little gap right here. So if you put this in here, that just means they're skipping up to 400. So then it goes 400, 425, 450. It goes up by 25 each time. So you can see if you graph those points, 1 and 420, 2 and 445, 3 and 470, and 4 and 495, you can see that represents a linear equation, just like what we have written here. So that's all for part A. Now we need to look at B part. the winning bid is $1,520. How many bids were there? All right, so f of n represents the amount. So we're going to substitute 1520 in for f of n. So 1520 equals 25n plus 395. And then all we have to do is solve for n. So subtract 395 from both sides. So let's see, I need 1520 minus 395. So I'm going to get 1125 equals 25n. Divide both sides by 25. N equals, see, 1125 divided by 25. And that equals 45. So it says the winning bid is $1,520. How many bids were there? So we can say there were 45. I don't know why I almost said 35. There were 45 bids on this geothermal heat pump before they accepted the winning bid. All right, that's all for example 5. If you have any questions, please let me know.